Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Hustle and Happiness podcast. I got an interview coming up for you guys that I'm so excited for you guys to hear because it is somebody who really embellishes the idea of hustle and having grit and really going for what you want in life, even when you hit a ton of roadblocks along the way. This gentleman has started 3 to 4 different businesses, each trying to tackle a different problem, and each one of them failing for different reasons, from not having the right partner, or just not having a very good idea, or not seeing the return on it that he would like. And yet, even after every failure, he continued to persevere and try something new and basically get himself out there. And he finally wound up hitting on his winner, which came from actually just working out and being an athlete, and eventually having an injury that he wanted to solve himself, and seeing there was a problem of not having the right equipment that, say, professional athletes have for the common athlete. And he decided that he was going to make a product that was better than any of the other ones on the market and be able to sell it for a lot cheaper price. And so his first prototype he was able to make from different parts from China and sell it for $8, it cost $8 to make, and turn around and sell it for 40. And eventually, by creating this product, which is very, very unique compared to what's on the market, he was able to sign on NFL teams and have them start buying some of the products and having the NFL players use them. And so basically persevering and going from just being a kid who wanted to make some money and try different businesses, and really just embodying that entrepreneur spirit, and going to somebody who has a huge business called Recoup Fitness and is working with athletes around the world, really is just an amazing thing to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. So the big question is this: how are millennials like you and I, who refuse to accept the American dream template that the schools and our parents have tried to hand down to us, but looking to escape the rat race? How do we shift our mindset in life to reach success and find our happiness? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brandon Stover, and I'm an entrepreneur who is going from zero to success and sharing every one of my secrets along the way in order to inspire you to defy your odds. Welcome to the Hustle and Happiness podcast. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Hustle and Happiness podcast. Today I'm here with Matt Hyder. He is the CEO and founder of Recoup Fitness. They make a invention called the cryo. It's kind of like a foam roller, but a little better, and it is basically a silver ball that is pumped with cooling gel and helps to rehabilitate you after you've gone through certain fitness activities and really start to rehabilitate those muscles. And he has taken this small little object from a idea all the way to $1 million company. So today I want to share Matt Hyder's story and basically how he's done this. So welcome to the podcast, man.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about how you came up with this idea and turned it into $1 million business.
So I came up with the idea with an $8 prototype out of own self-need. I was playing basketball one day and caught an injury, a knee right to the leg, tried all the typical recovery methods of an ice cup, foam roller, and lacrosse ball, and just saw such a lack of inefficiency. And I was like, I can do something about this. I was a failed-preneur. I had just failed my 4th business at the time and learned a lot of great lessons along the way. And I was like, I can do something about this. And if worse comes to worse, I've solved my own problem. And so I looked at it as either way I'm coming out on top. And luckily enough, a lot of people had the same problem and been able to grow the business.
Absolutely. I think that's a awesome place to start a lot of times as an entrepreneur, is finding something in the beginning that's kind of selfish towards you, but then can help a lot of other people too, because then it's like a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's a big mistake that entrepreneurs make, is they create for others, not for themselves. And when you do that, you don't fully understand the problem to the extent that you need to run a successful business, to see what's going to happen in the future. if you don't live it all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. So you were an athlete and you also had this love of entrepreneurship. So how did you kind of marry those two passions when you were starting your business?
So yeah, my first passion really was sports. It was in Taekwondo, did really well with that, and then fell in love with rugby. And then in college, I just decided I was like, I want to have a college life, and so from there, I was interning a lot and just seeing a lot of inefficiencies that were going on in the political atmosphere where I was interning, and started my first business there and just fell in love with it. It failed miserably, learned a lot of great lessons, but
Absolutely.
it was the process that I fell in love with more than anything else, of creating something from scratch and seeing if I can make it grow.
Absolutely. That's awesome. I think a lot of people when they first like launch their stuff, they kind of look at failure as something that's bad, but it's one of the things that really help you to learn. That's how you grow, and you can't be afraid to put yourself out there and fail, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's entrepreneurship is a lot of failure, and
Yeah,
it's just picking yourself up and learning from those failures and just keep moving forward.
absolutely. So you were able to get your products in the hands of some major NFL teams like the 49ers and the Jackson Jaguars. Like, how did you do that? How did you get from this product that you had to being in those hands?
Yeah, so the 49ers is my favorite story to tell for this for the company. Is I emailed an investor named Courtney Rem the product pitch, and he said, "Well, he's like, he's like, I may have time on Friday if you can come see me." And he was in LA at the time, and so to me that was a yes, 100%. So I flew out the night before, and he texted me, said, "All right, you have 30 minutes of my time." So I showed up, presented the product with him. He liked it enough, gave me $120 on the spot, or gave me $100 on the spot. And I flew back to Colorado, made the product for him, sent it out, and then wrote him, and then gave him $120 back and said, "Here's a return on your investment already." And from there, he took us to the 49ers, the CEO, Jed York. And then I called him every single day for 3 weeks. And finally, we was able to get on his schedule, pitched him over the phone. And luckily enough, they were coming to play the Broncos for a preseason game. And when he did that, I was able to get a meeting with them in front of the entire training staff and pitch them the product. They all loved it, and they were my first client, and they were the ones that made me drop out of college, because I realized a lot of people in this arena work their whole life to get a team like the 49ers to purchase, not even give them, to actually purchase.
Yeah.
And so I knew I had something at that point and dropped out my last semester, my senior year.
That's huge, man. I mean, like being able to one, put yourself out there and sort of create an opportunity for you, but then two, once you knew that that opportunity was going to happen, like you full force went in, you bought a plane ticket, you flew to that meeting, you stayed in contact 3 weeks over. I mean, people have to, once they see that opportunity, jump on it because it's going to fly by if they don't.
Yeah, I think that's a big key to success with entrepreneurship, is definitely being opportunistic. If you think the opportunity is there, take the chance. And even if it doesn't work out, one of those times you take that chance for that opportunity, something great will come from it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it helps really to start building confidence too in yourself and, as an entrepreneur. Um, so you talked a little bit before about having a few failing businesses. So talk about those before you had Recoup Fitness. What did you start before?
Yeah, so my first company I started was a contact app, very similar to a company called Full Contact here in Colorado, that is on their way to be worth over $500 million. And they had the team, they had the money, everything behind them. So I soon realized that it was not going to work. There's no way I could compete against them. So walked away from that one. Then the second company I started was called the Pack and Whirl. It was a way to travel wrinkle free with dress clothes. My dad would always complain about that and didn't want to pay the fee. Created the product, found out that most people that travel with suits would rather pay the $50 than it took the 5 minutes to roll up the clothes to travel wrinkle free. So it was a great lesson. of really testing customers and knowing the problem. And I only
Yeah.
spent like $10 maybe on the prototype and was testing it. So didn't lose money from that one at all. And then next one was Pinso Juices, a cold pressed juice company with Lance Ball from the Broncos. And him and I just didn't see eye to eye on where the business was going to go. I wanted to do retail. He liked the gym side. I didn't see enough value in doing it that way. And so walked away from that one. And then the last one was called Bootstrap Students, where we connected students with students to form startup companies. And that one did great because it helped start Recoup. And we got a lot of traction with Recoup. So I just walked away from it. Still a good idea because people are creating it at different college campuses, but I made the right choice.
Yeah. I mean, you basically created all these businesses and then kind of found the winning one, the one that took off, and you were like, okay, this is what I'm going to go all in on.
Yeah, it was 4 years of failing.
Yeah. So like, how do you've gone through, 4 businesses. How do you keep getting up every time you fail to keep moving forward?
I would say it's a lot of just knowing like if this is for you or not. And if you fail in this and you quit, entrepreneurship is not for you. Because that you are going to have that happen. And so I just realized like this is for me. Like I love it. And it wasn't about the money. It was about creating things to make a better future, to make people's lives better, easier, all of that type of stuff. And so you got to find things beyond you of why you're doing this. And if you don't, it's not going to work out. Like every successful person did something beyond themselves to create an amazing business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing that I always learn from the biggest entrepreneurs is every time they say that it wasn't really about the money. If you chase the money, you're going to fail. It's when they stop looking at how much money can I make and start turning to how much can I contribute to the world? What can I be of service to?
Yeah, and Elon Musk is the best person to like if you want to study entrepreneurs. Him sold PayPal, took all his money, and went and started business, SpaceX, Solar City, and Tesla. He had to get loans to pay his rent at the time.
Yeah.
Like he walked away with over $180 million and risked every penny. So that's the best example of money is not everything.
Absolutely. So you talked a little bit before that in one of your businesses you had a business partner, but you weren't seeing eye to eye. And now with Recoup, you have some team members that are helping grow your business. So how do you find those people? How do you connect on the same vision?
So I think finding co-founders is such a difficult thing to do. I've had past failures with them, and I think the work ethic is a huge thing. Like I have two amazing people that work for me, Natalie and Glenna, that they work their asses off and they are unbelievable to work with. And they are a huge reason why the company is successful, that they believe in my vision and they work really, really hard for me. And I'm very lucky to be working with them. And I think it's a lot of trial and error of figuring out different personalities you work with. And I think it's even test running them for a working period of time if it's going to work out. And I think too is they showed qualities I never saw before. Like Natalie really didn't give me a choice but to work for me, and she did it for free. And same with Glenna. And I thought that was the biggest sign of like they're doing this more than themselves. And
Yeah.
that was incredible to find, because I've had founders in the past that I never saw eye to eye with. I'd always work harder than them. And once you find those right people to work with, stick with them even beyond the first business, because it's hard to find those types of people.
Yeah, I think you always have to be kind of looking out for your A players. I can't remember how there's a saying that goes something like you can pay a bunch of money for B players and find 30 of them, but if you find one A player, like that will replace the work of 30 B players.
Yeah, that's true. We're a team of 3 people and we do really, really well. It's a lot of work, and that like we do everything that, and we're lucky enough that we're able to start hiring and really growing the company to the level we see it as. But yeah, they're definitely the A side of this company.
That's awesome. So what do you think the future of Recoup Fitness is? Where do you see it going?
So I see us becoming the name in fitness recovery. I think there is a huge lack of innovation and care for consumers. You have companies that are outpricing them with $200 vibrating foam rollers that break after 6 months. Your average consumer can't afford that. And like, we are aggressive with our price point. Our product lasts over 2 years and it's $40. If
Yeah,
you're hurting, you will spend $40 on something. That's It's a no-brainer. And I think that's a huge mistake that's happening in the industry right now is let's just see how much we can milk people with pain, and that's not okay. And like I said, it's a lack of innovation. In fact, you need two products to get large muscle groups and floss out small muscle groups is ridiculous. With ours, it's one product. And then you even add the cold therapy on top of it. So we're combining three products. And then we're releasing our hot ball next, which is a higher price point, but it lasts longer than anything else out there. You don't need a secondary heating mechanism such as a microwave, boiling water. All you need is a charger, and you can take the product with you, turn it off and on. So you're controlling your recovery. And those are like little innovations in this industry that is so far behind compared to our medical advances. It's baffling to me. And we are really focused on innovation and creating products that last at an affordable price point that people can see a professional athlete using this product and they can go out, afford it, and recover just like these pros, the same thing.
absolutely. I mean, that's awesome, man. Like being able to look at the market and see that there's a lack of something here, and basically providing that value for the market at a price point that's affordable to the general public. I mean, I personally work out at the gym, lift weights 5 times a week, and I can see some of the things that professionals use, and be like, well, that would probably be really nice to use for myself, but it's really expensive. So to have like a product that is able to recuperate myself, um, at the level that a professional would use for a cheaper price point, that's just a no-brainer for the market.
Yeah. And I think that's like back to my first point of creating for yourself. And like, I was the person, like, my foam roller would stop working after 3 months because it wouldn't be hard enough. But then when I would have small injury, and when I have injuries in small muscle groups, I had to get a lacrosse ball to do it. And then then when I had swelling in my ankles and my knees, I would need an ice cup to do that. And I just like, I would have never understood those problems of price, the consumer need, the lack of innovation in the industry. And that allowed me to really come in, know the market ahead of time, and innovate in it.
That's awesome, man. All right, so what's the number one mindset skill you think entrepreneurs need to have when they're first starting off?
The the skill you need is self-belief. The mindset is self-belief, because you will have people tell you it will never work, it won't, like, you will amount to nothing. I've heard it my whole entire life growing up, barely graduating high school with a 1.9 GPA. Counselors telling me I would never amount to anything. And now I'm one of the most successful kids in my graduating class. And it was always this self-belief within me to know that I am worth something. I can do this, because entrepreneurship gets very, very dark. There's times where you will not see the light. There's a lot of studies being done in the industry of like mental health that's going on right now, of all the stress, the pressure, the outside influences, how those truly affect you. You just have to block it out and just know that tomorrow is a brand new day. No matter what, it'll be better than yesterday, and I will make it better. It just comes down to you. That is the key.
Absolutely. I love that last part that you said, that tomorrow will always be better, but you're the one that's going to make it that way. That you have to make that active decision in your mind that you're going to put in the work, you're going to show up, and you're going to take control of your life and push it where you want, no matter what everybody else is saying that you can't do it. You'll never amount to nothing. You can have one, a chip on your shoulder and show them wrong, but two, you can also, just tell yourself that yes, tomorrow will be better and I'm going to create it that way.
Yeah, and you got to have that why. That's a big thing with this is like I have a chip on my shoulder that I'm able to slowly take off, of no longer proving people wrong. It's proving the people that believe in me right now. So being able to switch that, and it's taking action. Like people don't understand, you control your day. You control every situation. There's always a way that you can do it better. You can handle things better. And if you start out your day like, oh, yesterday was so bad, I'm going to start, and you have like wake up with that mindset, of course today's going to suck. Like you need to be like, no matter what, today's going to be better. We've had back-to-back day. I've had weeks where I've lost $500,000 investors, $100,000 investors, had Brookstone steal the product from me, but kept going through that because I was like, tomorrow will be better.
Absolutely, man. Well, that's awesome. So where can people find you online?
So they can find us at recoupfitness.com. And please feel free to reach out to me. I look at all the customer messages coming in, and I will make sure I respond back to you guys if you have questions. And if you need hopefully I can try you guys to create your business and change the future. And I would be more than happy to help anyone out with that.
Sweet, man. Well, I will put some links down below so that you guys can check out Recoup and what they're all about and their message and vision. But thanks for being on, Matt. You guys had some awesome insights, and I hope everybody was paying attention because Matt definitely knows what he's talking about when he fails a business and then takes it another one to $1 million. So that's today's episode of Hustle and Happiness podcast, and we will see you guys later. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the behind-the-scenes look at our entrepreneur's journey. If you want to get more secrets to becoming an entrepreneur and pursuing your happiness, then visit www.hustleandhappiness.com. Join us again next time, and remember, you are just one decision away from your happiness.